Hey, thanks for logging in. It's Mike Aker with Tyrell Sports Group. We're going to cover our third episode of our TSG Tech Talk this week. And for this week, we're going to cover the front side range of Force skis. So, a Quiver family of skis that's really dedicated to hard snow. Before we get started, I want to remind everybody that we have Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube resources this season highlighting both the training content that we're doing on these webisodes and also reposting materials that we're getting from Solomon Corporate in the way of our Tyrell Sports Group Facebook, our Tyrell Sports Group Instagram, and our YouTube channel, which we will edit down and post these short product videos for you to watch at your convenience. In addition to that, there is the Instagram page from Solomon Corporate, which is Alpine Insider Solomon through Instagram. If you follow that page, you will get regular tech updates fed through your Instagram feed from Solomon. Some of them are athlete interviews, some are product specific, some are just reposts from some of the shops that are out there highlighting their Solomon product. So be sure to sign up for the Alpine Insider Solomon page on Instagram. Some of the screenshots that you'll see, like I said, some might be highlights and product testimonials about products like Stance, and some might be more tech specific or sports marketing specific, highlighting what some of our athletes and ambassadors are doing throughout the country. Tonight's topic is the Force skis. We're going to talk a little bit about the target, like who are the skis for, where would you buy this ski to fit into your quiver if you're a multi-ski consumer. A little bit about the technology behind the Force family and what's integrated to make them unique, and then the range structure itself. So Force skis are really built from racing. They have a traditional hard snow feel and hard snow construction. Most skis using a full wood core with some level of metal until you get to the value price points at the lower end of the price range of the family. But we do some things to adapt them so that they're versatile on the whole mountain. Most skis built with a true racing ski construction can have such an intolerant torsional rigidity that it makes them really hard to ski in mixed up snow, crud, or broken conditions. On buffed groomers, race skis can be really fun. But once the mountain starts to get skied out, you find that you might have a little more challenge with a ski that doesn't have a tuned torsion for versatility. The customer who might be interested in a Force ski could be someone who has a different ski for each type of condition, and they're looking to get their cruiser, something with the shortest turn radius of any of the ski families you have on the wall. So Force skis have a shorter turn radius than QST or Stance. They definitely have the tip it and rip it feel. And when you put them on edge and you stand on the ski, you have that instantaneous auto drive across the hill carve with a more flared tail shape and a more race-inspired behavior. Some of the technology that sets the Force family apart and why they are more versatile than a lot of carving skis that just take the race construction and put a slightly softer core in it is that we use the same construction from contact point to contact point of full wood with 2 sheets of metal, but we adapt the tip construction using our CFX superfiber and with lateral TPU inserts that basically reduce the rigidity of the tip, the very, very tip of the ski, in torsion, so that when you encounter mixed snow, crud, broken up conditions, ice balls, death cookies, whatever you want to call it, the tip of the ski can absorb those vibrations as it's piercing through rather than throw the whole ski offline. So that crossover tip absorbs terrain and it really enhances the ski's ability to pierce through the snow when it's on edge. The other concept that we've integrated right from the race skis is called the edge amplifier. Edge amplifier puts more power to the edge by creating more surface area, more purchase between the plate, the interface plate on the binding, and the ski itself. So the plate is nested down into the edge amplifier structure, and that edge amplifier is built into the mold of the ski. It's actually a raised rail on either side of the ski that the interface plate sits in between. So you have contact on 3 sides of the interface plate rather than just the base of the plate being screwed to the ski. That allows the plate to have 30% more leverage and much more edge grip. We have two different versions of this edge amplifier, one from slalom and one that has been developed for more giant slalom. The GS version of the edge amplifier has the full length rails and the nested full length plate where the binding interface sits in the full length rail. So the edge amplifier GS is the execution you'll see in all of the Force family skis. How do they do what they do? Basically, the Force family of skis offer edge grip from the edge amplifier technology, a ton of power when they're on the edge. They use a full sidewall construction with double titanium at the high end of the range and single titanium at mid price points. And we go away from metal in the least expensive skis. And then it also really makes a difference with that crossover tip. It gives great terrain absorption and increases the versatility of the ski. The women's specific range has a flagship model called the S-Force Fever, which is still a full wood core ski with the edge amplifier technology, as well as that crossover tip with an adapted lower din setting binding, adapted flex, and a really nice side cut shape that's based on the unisex S-Force 9 shape. So it's a really good performing, high performance women's carving ski that has that adaptability of that crossover tip. When we talk about the whole range, when we start with the S-Force Bold, so the ski you see on the left, that uses what we call the S-Core core material. So it's a poplar with ash, 2 sheets of metal, and 84 millimeters underfoot. So that's the most expensive, widest waist. So you get a little additional flotation on a wide platform, but with that full construction with the strongest core, the most horsepower, but yet that crossover tip still makes the ski a little more versatile for turn shape. That'll have the most rebound and the most power on the edge of any ski in the family. When we move to the S-Force 11, we move to an 80 millimeter waist width. We still have a full wood poplar core with 2 sheets of metal, but that core versus the Bold, the full poplar core in the 11 is a little more balanced in flex tip to tail, a little less demanding than the poplar and ash that's in that Bold. So the Force 9 is the little brother of the Bold. It shares a cosmetic, so it has a similar look, but it is a wood core ski with a single sheet of metal on that 80 millimeter footprint with an adapted din setting on the binding. So that ski has a great value proposition for a wood with metal and a din 11 binding. The S-Force 7 is more of an aspirational ski for the intermediate and progressing low-level expert looking for good value, and they know that they're going to ski most of their days on the groomed terrain. They probably don't venture away from the chairlift and the groomed snow. So that's a great value with that S-Force 7. In the women's range, the flagship model is called the S-Force Fever. It comes with an 11 din binding. All of the bindings on all of these Force skis are grip walk or alpine boot compatible, just as a side note as well. So that S-Force Fever uses the same shape and construction as the unisex Force 9, but with an adapted women's flex, adapted binding, and a tuned flex. The S-Force Fever is a great high-performance women's ski based on the S-Force 9 mold, but with adapted flex pattern, women-specific cosmetic, and a specifically tuned binding with an appropriate din range for the female skier. The S-Force 7 goes to a softer flex and a step-down sidewall, still with a wood core, a din 11 binding that's grip walk compatible, and just a really approachable, fun to ski. And the S-Force 5 goes to a level 10 din binding at the first price of the Force family. So a great looking range of both men's and women's skis in this front side oriented category of Force skis. So on to the fun part. Last week, we put up a trivia question about the mountain that you see in the photo here, asking if you knew where it was, and a couple of people emailed in with their ideas. It's a place called Doublehead Mountain. It's actually right near Bruce's house over in Jackson. He took this picture from Tyrol Mountain, which is what we named our sales agency after. And Doublehead has that little notch in the middle. So that's Doublehead Mountain in New Hampshire. So that's last week's trivia. For this week, we have a new locale, and we welcome you to email in or text us or however you want to communicate. But let us know what trail we're looking at. And if you are correct, next week we'll announce the winners, and we'll take care of you with some prizes. So that's it for today. If anyone has any questions at all, please feel free to comment or email or text us. We'd be glad to include any future topics that you guys can think of in our short episodes. We're going to post these on our YouTube channel, so feel free to check them out, and have a great week.